Okay, so today I'm gonna be having a more rant-like video that takes more into account a more quote-unquote realistic outlook in this matchup. Now let's address one thing. When I say more realistic, I don't mean this is actual realism. I mean that in the sense that these two universes are more grounded and less exaggerated. Does that mean that they are realistic? No, that just means that they don't go crazy with their physics or rules. But they're still fictional, and really, you can't translate that some of the things that you see in these movies into reality really quite effectively. Now, let's get into the matchup. Going off of size, most sources really seem to agree that the V Rex is roughly 6 meters tall or 20 feet and roughly weighs 8 to 10 tons. That's an official source, unlike the stuff that gets it into the 32 ton ranges, even one that get all the way up to 40. And the Spino is kind of inconsistent because every dinosaur in Jurassic Park has size changing abilities, unfortunately, and we can't get a single consistent size metric for him, nor really most of the megatheropods in this franchise. I decided to calculate myself the size and got around this much. So anyway, let's see who would win in a fight. And let's begin with strength. Now let's address the little issue we will run into. Neither of these franchises are really realistic. One, the V-Rex is a goddamn 6 meter tall theropod with bulletproof skin, and the other is also a bulletproof theropod that's roughly 6 meters tall and can run at like 30 miles an hour. If you genuinely think Jurassic Park or Kong, if 2005 Kong is realistic, I'm not gonna argue with you. That's like, it's very blatantly unrealistic. And no, just because they don't have some sort of anime type fighting shit or more exaggerated physics doesn't mean that they are realistic. That just means the universe is more grounded. I'm gonna have a video talking about the difference between realism and grounded in the future, but for today we'll just address this. Being realistic doesn't mean that you're grounded. Enough of that. Let me explain why I actually think the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus is stronger. And yeah, I'm gonna be using the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, because I believe that that is the strongest version of the character. One, he's much younger. Two, he can actually fight for shit. And three, he isn't being mind controlled. Which is apparently an argument that many Spinosaurus fans automatically think makes him like 10 times stronger, or he could be like the entire franchise all on his own if he wasn't mind controlled, which is really outrageous to think about. So let's pretend that the argument of mind control does not exist. Enough of my tangent. Now let me explain why I think the Jurassic Park 3 Spino just has better strength. We never see the V-Rex actually do any amount of significant damage to Kong himself. And the nastiest injury that Kong has is really just a scar on his face by a healthy V-Rex. He has plenty of battle scars that carve quite deep into his actual bones, but that's about it. And let's not pull the realism side, because if we take into account the shape of the skull, the muscle allocation for neck muscles, and the bite force, that bite force will be kind of wimpy, all things considered. Now for the Spino, meanwhile, the Spinosaurus is casually able to destroy a steel fence, which, yeah, it was rusty, but like, there's no indication that it was that rusted. Plus, it's not really that pathetic of a feat as some people make it out to be. That's still impressive, especially for what's supposedly a normal animal, quote unquote. But another more impressive one is the one that he does in Camp Cretaceous, where he catches the goddamn Smilodon by cracking through a goddamn piece of stone. That's impressive. Yeah, I know that technically the Jurassic Park 3 Spino didn't do that, but come on, that's still something that he could be able to do, especially when you consider that this version is much younger, it probably has better stamina, and it's probably more, well, ready to fight in comparison to its older version. Now for speed. This is not really gonna take long, as both of these guys have like 30 to 32 miles per hour statements, which is impressive and really doesn't make a difference which one you pick. One, regardless of who do you think it's faster, it's not like a gap. It's not like we're comparing a cheetah to a F2, or we're not comparing a toad to a car. We're just comparing two. It's more a fair comparison of a bear, a Kodiak bear, in comparison to a brown bear. They're roughly the same speeds, and it's not like it's gonna matter, especially in this fight, since the way these two fight is really just using brute strength and trying to overpower the other. That's it. So, anyways, back to durability now. Durability is one that I know a few people won't like. But yes, JP3 Spino has better durability. Why? Well, at the beginning of the movie, well, not really the beginning, more like the middle of the movie, the hunters with high caliber weapons show up, they shoot the Spino, and the Spino has no visible gunshots, which shows that he's also bulletproof, so the V-Rex doesn't have better piercing durability. And meanwhile, the V-Rex he's easily getting staggered. Yeah, I know the inbred versions of the V-Rex don't really count for the base, but at the same time, it shouldn't really be all that much weaker than a healthy V-Rex. So, taking that into account, the fact that they were staggered easily by Kong's punches kinda take away a bit of their durability, considering that just shows how much they aren't as resilient to damage nor have better endurance. Meanwhile, the Spinosaurus has quite a lot of experience dealing with this type of combat, and given that the fighting styles of the V-Rex and the T-Rex from Jurassic Park are roughly the same, kind of comparable, I guess so. And now, with durability out of the way, let's talk experience. Since I'm using Jurassic Park's 3 Spinosaurus, I'd say that the V-Rex would have more experience, at least to an extent. I don't think it would be like an absurd amount of difference in terms of experience. Plus, V-Rex never really found or fought anything like the Spino. As for the Spino, yeah, it has been alive for a long time, but it never really encountered something as big or as powerful as a V-Rex. So let's just go into the next one, which is skill, which somewhat ties back to IQ, battle IQ, and all that. So here's the deal. In terms of skill, both of these guys don't really have a complex strategy. They just go tear at each other. The Spino just gets one lucky hit on Bull and snaps his neck. The V-Rexes in King Kong just kind of try to bite Kong. They don't really try anything else. The last V-Rex that tries to fight Kong literally just goes for more snap, 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 snap biting force. Oh, but he gets overpowered easily. Shows that the V-Rex doesn't really have a fighting style. They either just get overpowered or they overpower you. There's no strategy. And to be fair, the Spino doesn't really have like a lot of arguments for being that much smarter, given that he pretty much did the same in all of his fights. And there's no indication that he's like super combat adaptive like the Indominus is. So I would say, in terms of skill, maybe you can give to the Spino due to the way he fights. But I'd say, in absolute terms, they are really the same. They're one and the same in terms of overall skill. Now, with all that out of the way, who do I think wins? Yeah, sorry, but the Spino wins. The Spino, like 9, maybe 10 times out of 10. If you buy the stuff like the V-Rex being 30 to 40 tons, I don't think it really would have changed, given that A, that's not really a fair kind of metric to use since it's not an official source. And if you do for one, you have to do for the other, which would significantly tip the odds in the Spino's favor. But even if they were like one was heavier than the other, the Spino would still win because, well, he's actually the stronger, objectively speaking. V-Rex is barely capable of taking damage, is barely able to really dish out damage, and the Spino has, well, knowledge on fighting brutes of his level, even though he himself is not skilled. But at the same time, he's no like weakling. He's still more than capable of fighting against creatures of his level. So anyways, that's why I think it wins. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below and give me your opinion. Please be civil, and remember, this is just my opinion, and I could change maybe if you present me an argument, maybe if you show me something that I wasn't aware of. I'm happy to change, I'm happy to debate, and my comment in my comment section, I'll be linking my Discord, and if you're interested, you can click the link below. Anyway, thank you for the support, guys. I'm happy to announce that the next video is probably gonna come out this weekend still, hopefully. But anyways, see you guys later. Bye.